Sup, I'm back. It took a minute. I know it's been a minute. Been watching the numbers go up. It's weird seeing the numbers go up after a while, but glad they are. It's actually gonna help me in the future. But I'm here with something new as much as people hate it. And actually I'm gonna start keeping track of when I do what if now because as like I was gonna say it in the previous video that I was gonna record last week, but it just wasn't going well. The recording sucked terribly, and I was not feeling it at all. And the recording was just so terrible that I decided to just scrap it and just wasn't looking back. But I'm coming out with a new recording, and it'll be a lot better than the old one. I am actually going to be using something to help me out, and it's going to be a voice modder. So without further ado, I'll get into the what if. As you can guess from the title, you know what the what if video is going to be named. What if Deku was Revenant? Now, before we talk about anything, Revenant. In Apex, he is the fucking, what's it called? The robot that's been, well, he was a robot engineered to kill, basically. And that's the short version of it. Because, yeah, he has the ability to cancel other people's abilities. But in this, I tweaked it a bit. He can nullify and cancel your quirk. And he won't launch the ball like thing to uh, cancel it. So I'd say it's from like a look and feeling he goes off that makes you able to use your quirk no matter how much you want to. And you can do this on multiple people. They just have to stay in his line of sight. So say if you're behind him, your quirk is still able to work. But if you're in front of him, it's not. And when you break his line of sight, your quirk is still inactive for 30 seconds. And before some, and because I know it's going to get to that point, if he and Aizawa ever get into a staring contest or something like that, Revenant will shut off Aizawa's abilities because he'll physically his quirk will overpower it. That being said, here we go. So we start this in the first age of quirks. You know the first quirks, all for one, one for all, basic bitch quirks, like the whole nine. The beginning where it was like I think it was like 2% of people had quirks in the beginning, then it kept expanding because of like different lines. So let's say as time goes on, that will happen. And I say this after the first all for one and one for all fight, where he discovers a way to make artificial beings. The first being a being called Revenant. Now, I will not prefer to refer to Revenant as Deku because Deku doesn't exist technically, because the name will be Revenant. So it's gonna say from a young age, there was this kid who was able to basically nullify your quirks, and people seen it as like it was an iffy, quirk. Because if he went down the road of being a villain, that would be a very terrifying quirk, and people would avoid him for that, and not look at the good of it. For him being a hero, like his quirk would have did a major thing for if you stay in his line of sight. He's able to shut off villain quirks. But the problem was that's why they seen him as a villain. He couldn't control who like quirks were shut off. You just have to be out of his line. You just in his line of sight, your quirk is instantly nullified. And I say at the age of 6, I'm not gonna say certain things anymore. So I'd say they, how do I say this? Pulled that alien on him, and yeah, they pulled an alien on him, and he is being changed more, more like changed. I'm not morphed in a let's just say science took its way, making this being that's 7. Wait, no, 7 or 8. Yeah, he's 7. 7 feet tall, very skinny, robot-looking thing that has a skull-like appearance on his face, called Revenant. Well, he wasn't called Revenant, but he's not a robot. Sorry, he's more of the first noble. So he'd come out the pod about, I'd say, about the third age of quirks, where I don't know who the third one was, but he'd come out around like the third age of quirks, and he'd be the first successful noble after numerous failures. So he'd come out, walk, and Awful would greet him, basically bestow upon him the name Revenant, and say you are the first noble that has ever succeeded in his creation. And as such, Awful One has a very evil like smile and gives off an evil like laugh. And in the following weeks, he spent time introducing Revenant to the world, to where Revenant would go on, like, I'd say, like, missions to, not missions, more like hits. And he'd, like, take out or put out commission heroes and maybe, yeah, he put out commission heroes. And it's gotten to the point where he's known as Revenant, and no one knows who he works for. But all they know is from one interview, to which he was, I mean, not even an interview, like he was known for this public statement when, after basically finishing or getting rid of some, get off a hero and getting rid of a hero in public, and he said the following.
I look forward to meeting you all really up close and person.
That following message took the hero world by storm, with his with them giving him the name Revenant, obviously, as he looks like someone who's been morphed and has changed, and people believe is due to certain heroes, because the rules weren't fully established yet, killing or getting rid of certain villains, and but no one was able to tell what villain he truly looked like. Due to that, his identity remained a mystery, as he's doing all for one hits. Now, over time, he wouldn't go after one for all because often would tell him to lay off that contract, and Revenant would take out heroes here and there, and with that being done so over the past, I'd say give it like 20, yeah, about 20 years. I'll say that. The year's now like 2020. How old is All Might? Like 30. Yeah, it's almost like one second. So All Might is 49 in canon. It took me a second. It actually didn't take me that long. It was like 30 seconds. But I didn't want to put that in the video. So I'd say All Might is about like 19, like currently. And, Nana Shimura. Oh, I don't remember her name, but Nana. And I'd say this was a time where All for One had been heavily injured, and he tells Revenant, target the person named Nana. And he would respond,
Gladly, it shall be done immediately.
as he goes off and, does the job. Now, in this fight, this was the first time it's shown that during the fight, it would take place in the middle of the city. When Nana's taking care of a villain, Revenant would come out of a building and kick her into a car. And Revenant would walk out, and basically, like, a fight would ensue, with the media covering Nana's fight with Revenant. Now, what was shown is that Revenant can't stop like a court like One for All, which became a surprise to All for One because he's never seen someone and able to stop. Revenant's power and able to stop One for All until he like basically took notes that he can't stop like physical and things like One for All, basically things that are like genetic. Well, not genetic, more like have the looks of genetics. So it becomes a long drawn out fight, lasting about probably like 30 minutes or so. But Nana quickly ran out of stamina, and Revenant. How do I word this? Hmm. How do I word this? Basically, I'm gonna say would like let's just say skewered. Basically, yeah. Basically, yeah. He kills her. Well, not gets rid of her. Well, sorry, too late. I already said it. And effectively ending her reign is one for all. But he didn't know. Well, him or fucking Awful One didn't know she had an apprentice. So as the media is like crying and sad over it, he gives the following statement after killing her.
I have buried you here. You shall be remembered as another name on the tally list of heroes I have slain.
But with that long of a battle happening, there's tend to be some consequences. For this, however, due to it being a long, extended battle, he kind of forgot about, like, the chance of other heroes showing up. And with that became, like, the usual heroes around that time, which was Gran Torino, I think his name was, who beat him back along with other backup heroes. Even if they couldn't, even if they couldn't use their quirks, Gran Torino always escaped his sightline and delivered multiple like hits in before he could get back into. I mean, before Revenant could get him back in the sightline, in order forcing Revenant to retreat and recover. And that's where we get into canon wise. So yeah, this was the first part. I know it's short, like at most 20 minutes, probably like no, I didn't even nowhere near 20 minutes. I'm fucking joking. It's probably like 10, 15. It's hoping probably could be longer, but it's just not. This one won't be, but yeah, maybe next one. It's gonna get used to it. Plus, the voice mod switches every like 24 hours. So depending on what it is what I do. So yeah, peace.